Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ybot. Welcome back to Civilization 6. We're continuing our Let's Play as Arabia, and things are going to be a little interesting this episode because I actually forgot to put the sound on, so you may have already seen the completely muted episode. This is, this is going to be a redub of it, as it were. And I'm going to have to take a while to get my bearings here because I've gotten a little bit further in the in my game as Arabia. So let's take a look here. So I do believe at this point we are fighting with Brazil. We would have crushed their at this point in the series we would have crushed them long ago if it wasn't for the Defenders of the Faith pantheon. Not pantheon, but the belief that they have, that has proven to be a really, really big pain in my butt. So it is obnoxious, quite frankly. It's quite obnoxious. I'm, yeah. I don't even know what to say about it. It's, frankly, I should be going after somebody else, like the Chinese, or preferably the Greeks or the British, because they haven't founded a religion. But I was overconfident at various points throughout the game that I could just simply overpower the Brazilians with their religion, but unfortunately, because they have Defenders of the Faith, which gives all of their military units, including their religious units, plus 10. That appears not to be the case, so yeah. So anyway, at this point we are, yeah, you can see right there with that last battle, we actually, our apostle there took considerable damage from the Inquisitor, whereas the Inquisitor just, he barely has a scratch on him. And I am starting to get my bearings now, and so actually, here's a good indicator here. We're still in the Renaissance here. It appears that Brazil has gotten themselves up to the modern age, at the very least. We're still in the Renaissance. And what are we doing here? Lumber mill for... Oh no, we're just chopping. Okay. Did we... I don't even see what we chopped to complete there. I think the madrasa was already done. Did I chop to complete the harbor? Alright, so we're looking at great people. Nikola Tesla, great merchant. I think I'm looking for previously recruited great scientists. Or maybe, no, it's great merchants probably. I'm looking to see if Adam Smith's been claimed, maybe. I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. It's been a while. Let's take a look. So yeah, I'm looking at a variety of great people here. So we're gonna run... What are we gonna do in here? Are we gonna run some campus research grants? Build quadrims? So that we can turn them into frigates later, perhaps? Because we should either have that tech or be right on the cusp of it. Oh, and the Greeks are building the Sydney Opera House over there. Interesting. Yeah, the Greeks are a little ahead in this game. They've been ahead for quite a bit of the game. Okay, so what's going on here? No, I don't want to go to war with Brazil. For better or worse, I've been trying to be very passive and peaceful this entire game. So I'd argue that it's more so for worse. Then we have that one little lonely settler up there. Wow, this actually was a ways back. Okay, let's see here. So I'm using the settler. I think I'm just using the settler to explore a little bit. That's not really... Honestly, that's not really the best use of him. Let's see. And our apostle actually was killed, but fortunately that guy was he was one of the martyr promoted apostles, so that's not such a bad thing. Now, if I can just get that other apostle, just get him into either a friendly tile or a neutral tile, all of a sudden the Inquisitioner's fangs are pulled out and we don't have to worry about them anymore. And I think with that missionary, I'm also going to try to take advantage of the difficulties in engaging missionaries in combat when they're at sea. Because when religious units are at sea, they're more or less safe. They're not entirely safe, as I've found out, because I have been able to use apostles to attack missionaries that are just along coastal tiles, but if you go into the water, if they're both in transports, then you can't attack, but you can attack with a apostle or a inquisitor if they're on coastal tile and they're embarking or disembarking, is basically what it is. That seems to be the rule. Okay, and am I looking to build a harbor here? I think I might be. Yeah. Getting a harbor set up. Cool. All right. We have our quadrim, another quadrim over here. And the Malmuk. I've been told in the comment section I'm still not pronouncing it right, but, well, foreign language is apparently foreign, so I'm gonna do my best. Okay. And the worker. There isn't anything that well, I guess I can chop some jungle, although that's probably not the best idea if I chop the jungle next to the campus. Who's to say I won't do it anyway, but right now those 3 tiles of jungle, 2 of them are providing +1 science. So each jungle tile provides 0.5 adjacency points for science. The mountain provides +1 science. I believe Brazil gets better yields from jungle tiles. That's one of their unique abilities. So, good for Brazil. And actually, speaking of Brazil, what's their combat strength right now? They're getting a little bit crazy. They more than double my current combat strength, so that's a little concerning, especially since they're in the modern age. And yeah, as you can see, I have my apostle on neutral territory, and he is not having any problems whatsoever now. He's doing just fine. And England wants to buy the cast of the evangelist. No, thanks. I think the next game that I do, guys, I'm going to be trying to do a little bit of a speed run. I've seen a guy who's been doing peaceful speed runs on Deity. He's managing to get down to, and I don't think I can do this because I'm going to make too many mistakes, but he's managed to get down to about turn 150, at least if the description for his playlist is to be believed, and, well, I believe it. I've watched the conclusion of his other video where he managed to, as Rome, get himself to turn 156. victory. And he's got a lot of very interesting tricks that I want to try out, and I also want to play around with on my own channel, show you guys. If you're interested in which channel he is, I believe, both on Civ Fanatics and on YouTube. He is listed under Civ 6 Trader, and he's currently just got a few videos running right now. Believe it or not, he's a smaller YouTuber than I am, but if he keeps up with the speedrun stuff after the expansion, that could rapidly change, which, you know what, despite some of the attitude that he has, at least in his first video series, more power to him. He is exceptionally good at the game, and he's borrowed some strategies from Chinese players, which I would be the pot calling the kettle black if I was to object to something like that, because I basically borrowed strategies from, in Civ 5, I borrowed strategies from Carl's Guide. I studied up there on how everything works in the game. I haven't done as much work in Civ 6 because I was more or less content with being able to win on Deity more or less reliably. Like, and I'm pulling numbers out of my, just out of my head or out of some other place, but I'd say I probably win about 70% of the time, and I'm kind of satisfied with that. But this is a different playstyle because it involves not going to war. It involves appeasing the AIs, pandering to them, selling everything you can to them, settling on top of luxuries, squeezing everything you possibly can out of the game, and also making use of, I'd say making use of the overflow is an inspired idea. What he does is he amasses a ridiculous amount of gold, and I'm glossing over huge chunks here of his strategy, because he goes through individual things. He basically makes a 150 turn game take as long as a 250 turn game would take for me, just because he micromanages everything. But he does make some interesting choices, like, you know, when you get the great scientist at the end that just gives a massive amount of production to spaceship parts. So it turns out that you can only do one of those per turn, even if they're just one turn things, unless you trigger the overflow. So the way you can trigger the overflow is that you can be done the spaceship part. It's just got one more turn left to go. It just needs a few more gears or hammers, and then you chop a woods, or you chop a jungle, or you consume a bonus resource like, say, stone. If you do something like that, that'll trigger overflow, and that'll actually complete the spaceship part on one turn. If you've got multiple chops ready to go and you still have enough production for the next spaceship part, you can finish basically as many of them on the same turn as you like, just as long as you have enough overflow production in there. So that was a really cool trick. Like, honestly, I think he completed all of the spaceship projects within one turn. Like, he launched his satellite, he launched the moon landing, he launched the Mars habitation reactor, and hydroponics bay, I think, is the third one. Anyway, the 3 spaceship parts, he did those all within 1 or 2 turns, which, in theory, it should take 5 turns, but he managed to do it in like 1 or 2. So that particular trick right there is quite impressive. The way that he got all the production is he bought the living hell out of all the scientists. He actually just squeezed every last ounce of gold out of the game. So that was very interesting. Anyway, I should focus on what you're seeing right here as opposed to just chatting away about something impressive I saw on YouTube. I think I've done quite enough stealing for Civ 6 Trader's YouTube channel. Even though he says that people on YouTube are so bad, that is the only thing that I have against him at the moment, is that he was crapping all over. I believe he was crapping all over popular YouTubers, but I kind of took that a little personally when he's like, "Oh, all these people on YouTube, they're so terrible. I don't know why people watch them. They're so bad." So he is putting his money where his mouth is, though. And he's like, you know what? I can do so much better than you guys. Here, let me show you. And he's just starting out, so his production qualities aren't that great. But his knowledge of the game and his innovative strategies that he's demonstrating more than make up for it. And so, yeah. And to be fair, he is a bit right that even the people who play on Deity aren't squeezing every last little efficiency into out of the game. But that's honestly is because it doesn't matter as much as it did in Civ 5. Civilization 6 isn't as complicated a game, and like I said, I will admit that I kind of got to the point where I'm like, okay, I can beat the game on the highest difficulty. I'm satisfied. I didn't really think that it didn't really occur to me to min-max the game to such a degree that he is doing. And even when I saw his first work there, where he was like, I can beat the game on 150 turns on Emperor with a violent victory, I was like, that's fine, but you could never do such a thing on Deity, because the combat bonus is that the AI gets just is going to slow you down way too much. You'll never make it. But he's found a way to get himself 10 cities and to get himself up to the point of being able to win around turn 150, which is quite impressive. He's done it on the backs of... He's done it by studying the tactics of Chinese players who play the game way too much, I would argue. But once again, who am I to judge? I have almost 1,000 hours behind me in this game. Anyway, let's focus back on the stuff at hand here. So, what's going on with Brazil? They haven't denounced us. They were disappointed in our population. And are we trying to convert Sparta over to our religion? Yep. It'll have 5 citizens. That actually does convert. So that's something that you should keep in mind when you're playing a religious game, is that if you mouse over the conversion button, it will tell you whether or not you will convert another unit of population to be a follower of your religion. So it lets you know how close you are. Sometimes you just have to convert regardless. But if it's not actually going to flip a unit of population, then maybe you want to do something else. I'm sorry for the tearing there. My computer's kind of old, so that happens. All right. And now, the Brazilian Inquisition is... Yeah, I think I just leave my missionary there and let the Inquisition just attack them on neutral territory, because Inquisitors are terrible outside of your borders. The only reason that they're good for Brazil, the only reason they're the monsters that they are for Brazil, is because of that belief that they have. And as soon as you flip the city over to Islam, or any other religion for that matter, the benefits of the Inquisitors just disappear. So that's one of the reasons why I don't even bother building the damn things. They're really good for certain things, but for the most part, for the most part, they're more of a liability. I don't understand why the AI is so obsessed with them. I would, if I was the AI player, I would definitely want to get the more useful apostles. I'd like to get a smaller number of them, get more apostles, and then back them up with gurus for support. But who knows? They're probably just based on, I can get more of this unit for cheaper, therefore it's better, but no, really it's not. Their main strength is that they can peel away other religions, which I guess is good. And I mean, Brazil's Inquisition has served it well. I had Brazil down to one city at one point. Yeah, it was before this too, because Brazil's in the modern era now, but I had them down to like one city is still following the religion, except for maybe I think they have a city up north there. I can see just like one tile that has Brazil's border colors in the mini-map there. And I do believe there is a city up there. Sure, Elizabeth, you can have an embassy in our... I'm sorry, Victoria, you can have an embassy in our capital. So... excuse me. Alright, we got printing. So that gives us the Forbidden City and additional diplomatic visibility to enemies. Oh, fun fact. Diplomatic visibility is going to give you combat strength once the expansion rolls around. So that's going to be really good for the Mongols. You're going to be able to, if you send a trade route to somebody, you'll be able to get diplomatic visibility immediately as soon as the trade route is started. So you can then declare war on them and then you'll have a combat bonus. But that'll be really good for someone who is strong in espionage, say Catherine de' Medici of France. She's going to be a lot stronger in the mid-game now in terms of combat, which is good because France is a bit of a lightweight in terms of combat at the moment, and just in general. The French civilization in this game, I would say, is thoroughly average. They're not nearly as monstrously good as they were in Civ 5, with the theming bonus for, like, I think the bonus was called City of Light in Civ 5. It was something ridiculous where you get like double theming bonuses in your capital. It synergized extremely well for a tall empire victory. A tall empire culture victory, I should say. So yeah. Excuse me. And we're just poking around right now. Don't have any frigates yet. What are we doing? Yeah, we're just gonna put them to sleep for now. So Brazil denounced me not too long ago. Oh, they have some stuff up here. Oh, there's a Greek archaeologist over there. What's up, Pedro? Not even sure what I was doing in there. Maybe just... Oh, we killed some dudes. Or we won some religious battles. Actually, I think that was them running their... that might have been them running their Inquisitors into that missionary over there in the left-hand corner of the screen. Yeah, that Inquisitor is no longer there, so he must have died. So every religious victory that I get... It has an AoE effect on nearby cities that is similar in strength to a conversion, actually. So that's really how you win a religious victory, and it would have been a lot easier in hindsight if I had not done a island plates map here. But I just didn't want to have to deal with the bullshit of the early game, and I just wanted to be able to expand peacefully and claim my own home island for myself, and then Brazil forward settled me. And then I decided to let them keep their city because, well, I wanted one of their cities to be following my religion, but, oh well. What I really ought to do in the future is actually just, if I have the spare production for settlers, I should just settle like little shit tundra cities in the middle of nowhere, like on a single tundra tile in the middle of nowhere, and just make sure they're following my religion, and then at the very end of the game just start gifting them. That might actually be something I can do to Brazil, though. That would be interesting. I kind of want to experiment with that for my with my current save of the game, where I am right now in the series. If I was to just, say, start gifting cities to people. Because in theory, I only need to have my capital converted to my religion in order to win the game. So what if I was to just give all the cities? And I don't think this is the first time I've thought of this. But it's an interesting idea, especially if I can't overcome the Brazilians. It's kind of a twisted version of if you can't beat them, join them. It's something to consider for the end game. It would be one of the weirdest victories ever, that's for sure. Cortuba, okay, so they actually have another city up there. So they have a city, I guess that island is England's homeland? Their home island? Apologies again for the screen tearing. The new graphics card is ordered. The new PC will be delayed, actually. Yeah. So, as of today, when I'm recording this, and I'm getting close to the end of the series, I do believe, one way or the other. So today is January the 31st. And the graphics card was supposed to be delivered today. However, I did not get an email from Amazon, but when I checked in my orders, I saw that my order had been updated. So I did get my, what I'm going to call my microphone cover, the little foam thing that goes over top of the microphone, to help protect it from moisture and kind of dampen ambient noise. That came in the mail. That's working beautifully. But my graphics card that was supposed to come along with it, and Fortaleza has been flipped over to our religion, so that means those Inquisitors no longer have any combat strength bonuses. So anyway, my graphics card was supposed to show up today, but it has been updated. Let me just take a quick look here, and we're chopping to, I guess, get the shipyards done. I'm a little bit chop happy in this one, and in hindsight, I'm maybe overeager on chopping. Let's see here. Let me just take a look, and I will let you guys know when the graphics card is coming, because I'm a little salty about this. Here we go. My orders. My microphone cover. It arrived. Microphone foam, that's the technical name for it. So that's shown up. And then graphics card. We got your order. We got your order on January 12th. It was supposed to be here January 31st, but surprise, it will ship February 17th. Yeah. More than a month after I dropped a lot of money on this damn thing. The worst thing is that it's sold out everywhere. It's at the moment, guys, a word of nickel's worth of free advice. Don't build a computer right now. Wait until the cryptocurrency bullshit has settled down, because right now there's a cryptocurrency named Ethereum, which is mined by... It's resistant to the methods of mining used for Bitcoins. I'm not sure the exact specifics, but I do know that the chips in graphics cards and the memory in graphics cards work really well for mining it. So as a result, a lot of people who are hoping that this Ethereum will become the next Bitcoin are just buying up all the goddamn graphics cards, like 6 at a time, and this is causing a massive shortage. And that's resulted in the price of graphics cards, instead of going down like they normally do, it's actually going up. So not only did I have to suck it up and pay more for my graphics cards than I would have liked, but because China, apparently, and this is another thing to keep in mind if you're building a computer, if you have the means to purchase a graphics card before Christmas, I highly recommend you do so, especially if there's any sort of shortage like this. Oh, and we have our frigates available now. We're doing our upgrades. But yeah, it turns out that the Chinese actually they take a bit of a manufacturer's holiday, or they slow down production after Christmas, because they've sold all their product, they've shipped all their stock, and demand's going to drop substantially in the new year. At least that's what normally happens. In my case, what happened is that the demand is continuing to be high. They're not filling the orders that they have, clearly, because my original order in early January was only going to be fulfilled at the end of January. Now it's been pushed back to mid to late February. And, yeah. So, had I actually been smart enough and just bought my graphics card on Black Friday, I would have been in good shape. Now, the reason that I didn't do that is because I was counting on Christmas money, and I thought it would be irresponsible to buy such a big ticket item without the necessary funds being available. So I stand by that decision, but I'm still pretty fucking salty about it. So who knows? Maybe I should have spent more money, or maybe I should have I wouldn't have maxed out my credit card, but maybe I should have put it's more than several $100s. These damn things cost at least 500 American, probably more Canadian. Actually, definitely more Canadian. So yeah. And also the price on Black Friday, I was like, oh, it's still so expensive. I thought it would go down. And turns out I actually paid more for it after Black Friday. Sadly. But, yeah, at the time, my justification was it has not gone down to the price point that I will make an instant buy decision on it. And also, I do not have the funds to just suck it up. More so, I didn't have the funds to suck it up at the time, so... Okay, so this missionary right here, he looks like he might be screwed. Sorry, I'm just interrupting my rant, basically. He looks like he might be screwed, but he's actually not doing too bad. He's got... Since he's in neutral territory and the Inquisitors are not that great at combat, and also we're running the What's the card called that gives +4 combat strength to religious units? We're running that card. It's obviously not called Defenders of the Faith. Now, this Apostle, moving him into that territory is quite dangerous. Even if I manage to flip the city, it's quite dangerous, because just one Inquisitor can flip it back. Yeah, and then we're pulling this guy back. We're going to heal him up. And I think I'm just moving the frigate down to... Actually, no, both frigates are up there. I was going to say we're moving him down to rendezvous with his buddy, but we're not. So, yeah. As for the graphics card saga, I'm salty about the results. I don't regret my decision because I think I made a responsible decision, even if it's costing me in terms of time in the long run. If something had happened and I wasn't able to get my hands on the additional funds over Christmas, I would have severely compromised myself financially. Oh, and this Apostle here, he's now at like half health. And Victoria's tearing like crazy. So, apart from the graphics card, the new computer's done. I think I'm going to assemble it this weekend. And I'm going to start putting it through its paces. I might even harvest the current graphics card from my current system, because I know it'll run Civ 6 anyway. It's at this point, it's an older AMD card. I don't think it was that powerful when I purchased it either. It was only a couple $100. Okay, and I guess we're just exploring around here trying to settle a city. I'm amazed that the AI will settle on any worthless scrap of land that they find. That is very peculiar to me. But yeah, China has a nice little snow city up there. I believe there's actually a wonder that's going to specialize in the snow eventually, which is kind of cool. I think it's like the Antarctic research station or something like that. The station that's at the South Pole. Hopefully it'll provide some decent science-like game. And my Apostle right there was able to knock down a few Inquisitors. Very nice. Okay. And it looks like we might have a pussycat joining us. I can actually give him proper attention because I'm not actually playing. I'm just watching the recording. Hi, Angus. How's it going? Do you like the new microphone cover? You gonna stay away from the microphone cord this time? Yeah? He's being a good kitty cat right now. Yay. I love you too, Angus. Yeah, you don't have any cords to go after. I don't have the headphones on. Sorry, you're getting in the way. There we go. Alright, so what are we doing here? Oh, we got this guy all the way onto Peter's continent this early. Wow. I don't actually remember doing that. I remember doing that with a... I think it was an Apostle and an Inquisitor. Not an Apostle and an Inquisitor. I didn't build any Inquisitors this game, because I think they're useless. But a Apostle and a Guru. But, don't remember sending just an Apostle that early to explore, but I guess I had to. Cool. Looks like at this point Peter's not sending a bunch of crap at me, which is good. So we're just poking around, maybe pick a fight with that guru over there. Choosing a production. What are we going for here in Porto Alegre? Oh, my cat's heavy. Building a trader. That's good. Get those trade routes filled up. You're heavy, Angus. Have I been feeding you too much? Yes? You're a fat cat. You don't care. You're a happy pussycat. I have a very happy pussycat right now. Let's see. This apostle, yeah, he's fine. That inquisitor's on the verge of death. The AI is still going to run his face into my apostle, though. And currently, we've only converted one civilization to our religion. In hindsight, I may have said this already, but in hindsight, I think this obsession with converting Pedro over to our religion is not as... Okay, the cat's done snuggling. Sorry about that. I think the obsession with Pedro was kind of short-sighted, and I should have gone after somebody who didn't have such a strong defensive belief. I also think that Defenders of the Faith is a little bit broken at the moment, and it should only actually apply to military unit combat strength, because it completely defeats the purpose of it defeats the purpose of religious combat altogether, because your guys just always win in your own territory. So, it's overpowered, and I think it needs a bit of a nerf. There is another belief that also covers the same thing, which completely negates religious defeats, and that's, what is that one called? It has something to do with, it's like isolated monasteries or something? Yeah, I think it's isolated monasteries, and what you get for that one is you actually... Yeah, and they're running more inquisitors into his face there, and he's just smacking them down. Anyway, the isolated monasteries belief prevents you from losing faith based on religious defeats. So, say if it was me, I would be sending in, say, my inquisitors and running them face first into an apostle and losing them all. If I had that belief, I wouldn't lose any faith in I wouldn't have my cities be converted by their religion due to losses in religious combat. However, any other city that's not mine would still suffer. So it's not the greatest for a religious victory, but it is good to defend your religion at home. And it also would make it very frustrating for your opponent who's trying to convert you, because then they would have to use valuable charges on their apostles or bring missionaries along. And if you have inquisitors out, then the inquisitors are a very good counter to missionaries. That's what they're designed for, I would say. This guy's trying to convert Sheffield because the inquisitors can't actually do anything there. So I think my original goal is to put pressure on this city here, the 7-pop Brazilian city, because it was the last holdout when I actually did successfully almost completely convert Brazil over to my faith. So that was frustrating when I lost that. I think I've gone over this several times with them, where I've completely converted Salvador de Ball, and I've completely converted Fort Alegre, and then I lose them both. So, yeah. It's a little unfortunate. Anyway, looks like this video is going to be wrapping up within the next few minutes or so, I guess. What are we doing here? Oh, hello again, Angus. You slipping around? No, not the keyboard, buddy. I don't know what that's going to do. It's going to screw up my Audacity recording or something. So I think you need to go down. Thank you. And Cat's trying to make an appearance, but he's cat bored. So that means he's getting into cat trouble. I'm actually just going to quickly check Audacity here. Yeah, it appears that it's still working. Very good. Very good. So we're at turn 226 out of 500. We're getting a little iffy there. Pericles is already in the information age. But Pericles does have a tendency to just rocket forward. Even when you're playing as him, he has a tendency to do that. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not sure what I'm telling you guys at this point. I think I'm saying that I'm going to try to convert the Greek continent, which is the correct way of doing things. Get the Greeks converted, and then that'll put some pressure on Russia. That'll make them send out missionaries. Then you can defeat them. Anyway, guys, looks like the video is coming to an end, so thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video and the post-recorded commentary. I'll see you guys next time.